Well, good morning to you, wherever you are, wherever you may be watching. We really want to welcome you to this Sunday's service. We're so privileged to be able to do church, even in a season like this. We're grateful for technology. Well, today is a special day. It is Mother's Day. And so to all the mothers out there, whether you are a biological mother or whether you just play a mothering role in somebody's life, we really want to wish you Happy Mother's Day. There is a mother in my own household. My wife constantly makes huge sacrifices just in looking after our kids and loving them. And I just realize every day how much goes into mothering. And so we really want to just celebrate you today as moms. My prayer for you today is that you would really be encouraged through the service, that God would speak to you through His Word and meet with you in a unique way. Well, as we kick off the service, I'd love for you just to sit back and enjoy a video where a bunch of moms in our church congregation posted photos of their children and of just moments in their mothering. Sit back and enjoy. God bless.
Well, good morning, church, from my side, and a warm, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers as well that are out there. I've been reading slowly through the Gospel of Mark, and actually in this morning's reading, I came to that section about Jesus being on the boat and the storm. And so I'd like us to read that together in a moment just to frame the service. And I was just thinking, often we feel as though maybe Christ is asleep in our boat, especially in the season of turmoil, and maybe you're also facing a storm at this time. And I suppose the danger is just to consider that maybe he's not interested in our lives, he doesn't care for us, but he's there and he wants to work in our lives. So I want to encourage you to maybe find somebody in your family, if you're gathered in a group, in a home, to read this passage. Perhaps if you're just on your own, then just read it quietly to yourself. And it's from Mark chapter 4, from verse 35. And I really hope it'll be an encouragement to you, not only to the moms today who might just be in a season that feels like a hectic storm, but to all of us. So let's read this together. Well, what a great passage, and I trust that you'll consider just meditating and reflecting on this, reminding yourself that what concerns us doesn't concern Christ in the same way, because he's sovereign, he's with us in the moment. So as we think about Mother's Day, I thought about another verse, and it comes from the Apostle Paul in Romans 12, and he says, "Rejoice with those who rejoice, and mourn with those who mourn." And so on this Mother's Day, we do want to rejoice with the moms, not only part of our family, but the moms maybe who are watching from all over the world, and just thank you for the legacy that you're leaving, the investment you're making in your children's lives. But we also want to mourn with those who mourn. And as pastors, we recognize that this day can also be tough for moms. Maybe you're a mom who has lost your mom over the past year, perhaps, and you're grieving. Maybe you're a mom who has lost a child. And I know as a pastor who's conducted funerals, that's one of the hardest things. And often moms have said, "Hey, Justin, it's really tough. A mom shouldn't have to bury her child." And so if that's you, just know that we are thinking of you. Maybe you're a mom who's lost contact with your children. For whatever reason, they're just not in your life at the moment, and things just aren't going well there, and we want to remember you. And also those who had moms that were less than ideal role models. Maybe your mom was not the mom you hoped she would be. Maybe some of you even had abusive moms, or moms that just were addicted to substances, and we want to remember you as well. And then also, just maybe there's some of you out there I know who would have loved to be a mom, and you're still praying about that, you're still considering that, maybe you've even given up hope. And we just want to rejoice with those who rejoice today, and also mourn with those who mourn. And so I've chosen two special songs for our service today. So let me talk about the second song, first of all. The second song is a hymn, and it was written by Annie Hawkes in 1872. And Annie writes this about the hymn we're going to sing a little bit later. She says, "One day, as a young wife and mother of 37 years of age, I was busy with my regular household tasks. Suddenly I became so filled with a sense of nearness to the Master that wondering how one could ever live without him, either in joy or pain, these words, 'I need thee every hour,' were ushered into my mind. The thought at once taking full possession of me. Some years later, after the death of Annie's husband, she then wrote this. She said, 'I did not understand at first why this hymn had touched the great throbbing heart of humanity. It was not until long after, when the shadows fell over my way, the shadow of a great loss, that I understood something of the comforting power in the words which I had been permitted to give out to others in my hour of sweet serenity and peace.'" And so a little bit later, as we sing "I Need Thee Every Hour," let's think about this mother who maybe is a picture of us as moms in the season, just going about our duties, and let's remind ourselves that we need the Lord. And then this first song that we're going to sing that I've chosen is for a time of reflection. Now, it is a little bit longer than usual. It's just over 10 minutes, but it's a beautiful piece sung by Nicole Mullen, and it's set on location in Israel. In fact, it's an oratorio, and you might be wondering, what on earth is that? Well, an oratorio is just a fancy word for a story that is set to song and music. Now, Nicole Mullen is a mother of 3, and sadly, even as a Christian, she went through a painful divorce in 2014. After 21 years of marriage. And she says that this was for biblical reasons, and I'm not going to go into all the details of what happened, but I know she's really wrestled through this grief. And so this beautiful song she sings is called "The God Who Sees," and it follows the story of Hagar, Ruth, David, and then Mary Magdalene. And Elroy is the Hebrew word for the God who sees. And so, brothers and sisters, and especially to your moms, as we watch this now, I trust that you'll be as encouraged as I was just to see God's grace. We serve a God who loves us on this day, no matter what you're going through. He loves you. He's the God who sees. So let's use this piece as a time of worship together.